Well, it's Thursday night in an election campaign. You know what that means. We look at the markets. The polls are tightening, but both parties and leaders are still struggling to break through to build the sort of lead they need to win. The pollsters are saying people are disengaged, but that's not the case when they back up their talk with their own money, which is why I like the betting markets. Let's get a sense of where things are. It's week 2, and then we'll check in now with the TAB's Gerard Middleton. On the national state of play, I want to look at head-to-head, I want to look at hung parliaments, but also some key marginals. Gerard joins me now from Sydney. Let's start at the top, head-to-head if we can, followed by the hung parliament. Have we seen things move in week 2, Gerard?
Yeah, great to be with you again, Peter. Certainly an extraordinary opening 8 days to this campaign. When the campaign was called, or when the election was called, it was $1.40 Labor, $3 the Coalition. In the 8 days after that, we got to $1.90 each of two, and 70% of the money was flowing for the Coalition. But just in the last 2 days, it started to trend back to Labor. I think the punters have seen that price of Labor and liked it. However, we did take a $50,000 bet at $2 on the Coalition on Tuesday. As far as the hung parliament market is concerned, well, last month the yes option was $3.40. It's into $2.20, and in that same period, the no option's gone from $1.30 out to $1.65.
Well, was there any market movements after last night's debate, or did you see something come out this morning?
No, it stayed pretty much as is. In fact, a very small move for Labor, $1.80 into $1.78, and the Coalition just went $2 back to $2.05. And yeah, so a very small movement. And as I said, Peter, just the last 2 days, it's bucked the trend of all the money that was coming for the Coalition. Punters have gone back into Labor.
All right, let's look at some seat-by-seat comparisons. The New South Wales inner Sydney seat of Wentworth, currently held by Liberal Dave Sharma. What can you tell me?
Well, no movement after the candidates' debate today. $1.68 for Dave Sharma and Allegra Spender there at $2.05. We've been betting on this seat since November last year. At that point, the Coalition was $1.40 and the independent option at $3. All the early money was for Allegra Spender, and the market's been moving around, but that is virtually a 50-50 hold now. So the punters have certainly started to shift towards the incumbent in Dave Sharma.
All right, the Melbourne seat of Deakin, it's in the suburbs out toward Burwood Way, back of Hawthorn, if I can say that. It's held by a Minister, Michael Sukkar, so it's a Liberal seat now. What can you tell me there?
This was line ball, Peter. It was $1.90 each of two, but punters again have started to back the incumbent in Michael Sukkar. And this is a trend I'm seeing around some Victorian seats at the moment. He's into $1.60. The ALP is out to $2.25 in that seat. There's a similar move in the seat of Latrobe, and there was a bigger move in Casey in the last few days as well. $1.70 into $1.42, the Coalition, with Labor out to $4 in that seat.
Now, that's smart, because pollsters tell me in the outer and middle suburbs of Melbourne, where people and their kids were homeschooling, and there's been some struggles with mental health, parents are really cranky at Labor and lockdowns, and they're going to whack Anthony Albanese, even though it's Daniel Andrews' fault, and that bears it out in those seats you just referenced there. What about Boothby? South Australia, Nicole Flint, the Liberal, is retiring. What's happening there?
Well, Labor was as short as $1.44 in this seat, certainly one they're targeting being the government's third most marginal. Now, though, the Coalition just starting to get some support here as well. They were $2.65 into $2, just back to $2.10. So this one very much in play as expected, but maybe not the comfortable win that Labor was expecting, at least according to the punters, Peter.
All right, bet responsibly. Gerard Middleton, thank you for your time.